Learners from various schools in Vosloorus have gathered at the Thuto-Lesedi Secondary School in support of a 16-year-old who was attacked by a group of pupils last month. They want the principal to be fired. Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala is in the area for us tracking this story. Nqobile, good afternoon. As we've just said, this is an incident that happened on the 23rd of July. These learners have been protesting since last week.
Yes, we are hearing that, Michelle, that this incident happened then. But what is more worrying about this incident is that it has resulted in a learner going to ICU and perhaps fighting for his life, but also for his eyesight, mainly because of what happened in the school, which we are going to get more details around with the SGB. But before we do that, I want to show you that show of support that has been done by the learners coming into the school. As you can see, this could have been easily more than 3,000 learners that have come here. We understand that the various schools sort of came in to show their support for the 16-year-old and basically to call to an end in terms of bullying. And I want to bring in now SGB to speak to us about these details. Mama, if nje ungaqala ngokuthi usichazele ukuthi le incident yenzeke nini kanjani kwenzakaleni.
Okay, my name is Morongwa Ramaru, the SGB chairperson of Thuto-Lesedi Secondary School. On the 25th of July, I received a call from the school. They told me that there was an incident that took place here at school, that happened here at school. So I responded to the principal that, I'll convene a meeting so that we a disciplinary committee whereby sizo contact a hearing. But they didn't describe the nature of incident. And then on Monday, when I was at work, in our WhatsApp group, I saw the text from the principal that we are summoned by the MEC office and the district office to come to school. And then I called at work, and then I told them that I'll come to work later. So Tuesday we came. That's where we got a formal report for nature of that incident. It's a bullying, and then below ICU. We understand. So, we were worried as governors. First, because most school management, of which they manage the floors. So when I felt the way I meeting cutting, the way cutting, audio operation one. Because agree, that we sent our children to school. Most calling the educators, the parents for that 8 hours. So if I'm beaten at school, only other learners, but nobody helped. I'm having a problem. Nakili SGB chairperson, the other governors, we were worried. So Wednesday we decided to go to the hospital or reload on one. I was hurt myself. I called Mr. Mbogoto and unfortunately we decided to go ICU. But I told her when I went to operation in barely eyeball young one and a car, then Bamo's operation by lift a plate so that you can avoid a little stress. Then Mr. Mbogoto be alim 17, but we are right like worried taking out some agifite, go spetele go mon, one. And then about Zamaya, other governors, Nali Mam Lucy Batama Baya go spetele by yo one.
Mama, this incident, obviously, I just want to clarify first. Is it the 23rd or the 25th that this happened? All right. And so when the incident happened, Mama,
on the 25th.
Okay. So when this incident happened, are you aware of what was the reason for the bullying? What happened to the learners that bullied this child?
First, I didn't know because they just said it's a bullying, and then there were witnesses. As SGB members and parents, we did our own investigation. And hence, that learners, they talk. They said, because little one of the way Nelbon Tagatenelsa won't see Velo Rusha Pileke. So, so we asked names. a re fetsa go thola mabitso ra thola gore nka nnete vele bana bao ke bona ba mo shapileng ene bona ne ntse ba etla sekolong. They were not suspended, but the other one who la ba rileng na ilwa le ena one-on-one be a le suspensioning already ne se ba mo suspendile. So re ile ra tsamaya ra o checka bana ba gore re ba fe di-suspension letter so that le bona ba tlo dula in the sitting of hearing. So, and then re ba suspendile bana, they are no longer coming to school anymore. And then until we contact that DC hearing on Friday.
So a total of these learners that have attacked or bullied the 16-year-old is how many exactly?
Learners that are involved there by 5. And I already find out, Mr. Mbogota investigator, we find out that there's a gangsterism in Moscow, of which Rona Nersa is able rating. So it just come out now where Balwana, only Kangaristim Yaba Zulu, only Amatonga. So Wana Nabakiswa Pekea high, Abakiswa Pekea high, and then Abeamoshapa, Wamoshapa, or Amatabita Chomurin Tuse, or Amatabita, Bichomita, Elena Rambutush.
So now what is the way forward? What did you say to the learners that were marching here?
The learners, we spoke to them that as SGB members, hence you know that we are following the South African School Act, we are conducted hearing. We don't just conduct hearings without following the procedure. So I told them, more, Banabaka, redo contact a hearing on Friday. And then the police will be busy with investigation, latella case kamorao. And then we even went extra mile, Mr. Mbogota. Ratsamara kwa bo perpetrator ro batla o tseba gore na ngwana la o kae so that it's a statement, and the intention was not even going there to take the statement, was to go there and take that learner, to hand over that learner to the police, because we felt like a case and then we didn't know the reason why the police are taking time to arrest that learner, because the stability sa sekolo a seo, but bona ba etse mosebetsi wa bona. I understand. So we went there, but Mr. Mbogota called the subs, Baba Turing case, make sure that Ale Robali is Mutwaran. And a Mutwaran, you. But because the learner is under age, only 16 years, I got Honoba under detention, Yama police, Abamfile Rabe, Sanachabe under care, the parents, today, that's why I'm go court.
So what's happening now then, Mama? Are they going back to school tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow it's a normal day school. We spoke to learners that they must come back to school. Hence, you know that tomorrow, grade 10 and 11 and 12, that they start writing their prelim tomorrow.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, Mama.
Thank you.
Well, Michelle, just the details here we're hearing from SGB is that the fight was over a bag, and we understand that they're saying that there are various groups, 2 groups of that basically are deciding to sort of run a sense of gangsterism, which is what she's explaining. She's saying these groups are within the school, and somehow one helps the other, and that's how it ended up with a group of learners that were beating him up. But we are understanding that the fight was over the bag that they were trying to get from him, and he wouldn't give it to them. And unfortunately, it ended up in him being hurt so badly that he ended up in the ICU. They've gone to see this child. They're saying one of the major issues is that his eye has been mainly affected, and they're saying that there was an operation to try and assist him with that. But the condition that he was in, she's explaining that it was really heartbreaking for her to see. And of course, when the learners were marching and sort of asking for that, for the principal to basically be permanently removed for not stopping this, they're saying that they've spoken to the learners about the fact that they have to follow the process in also getting the other learners that were involved in this incident. So they are still following that process. At the moment, we know that the principal has been basically asked to stay at home whilst the investigations are still ongoing. But for tomorrow, the learners are expected back at school.
I suppose the question now, Nqobile, is whether those learners, the bullies in this incident, will face any charges.
Well, from what we are hearing from the SGB, they're saying that they've done some investigations on the ground where they were able to take that sense of investigation, move it towards the SAPS, because they felt that the police themselves were moving quite slowly. So at the time, one person was arrested, but they're saying during their investigation, they found out that the police were looking into the people that they were looking into. They're expecting that about 5 learners that were involved in this fight should also be facing the charges around that bullying, but they're not sure at the moment, as they have only handed over the investigation that they have done based on what the learners were telling them who were witnesses, as well as based on the investigation that they were doing within the school.
Right, Nqobile Madlala, thanks very much for that update. And of course, we'll continue to track the story in the 2 o'clock hour of the program as well. We'll bring in the Gauteng Community Safety Chairperson, get you a sense of the way forward here.